Swim back around. What's going on? What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? My name is Dr. Kodo Sarfo. I'm checking in live from what was a sunny day here in Los Angeles, California. Welcome back to this week's segment of the Late Night Show, Dr. Kojo, and we're going to be talking about a couple of tips and tricks if you're neurodivergent. I have three main ones for you all today, and of course, I'd like for y'all to intervene and jump in and ask your questions and have a discussion as I'm talking, right? So pretty much we're going to do it how we always do it. But before we get started, I'd love for you all to use the comment section to let me know your name and let me know a little bit about you. So say Jamie from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I like the Vikings or whatever, because the Vikings are playing right now. But let me know your name and let me know a little bit about yourself. And then, this is my little blurb right here. And then we can get started. So I'm excited. Hope everybody's had a great weekend. My weekend was good. I was extremely tired, drained, but I got some rest. So I'm ready to have an amazing week. Let's see what we have here in the chat. Waiting for people to come through. Okay, we got the right banner. All right. No, I got the banner right there. Let's just keep it right there. I was going to accidentally mess with the banner. But yeah, we're going to be talking about neurodivergent tips and tricks for success. So I'm excited to get into it. Maria says, Maria from Philly, and I washed all the dishes and cooked soup. So Maria, we're going to go ahead and give you a love of the show right now because this is phenomenal. I love the show. Washing all the dishes and cooking the soup, those are two big tasks that take a lot of energy. So give yourself some credit. Megan Lee says, hi, Coach. Hi, Megan. What's up? What's your dog's name? My dog's name is Zoe. Zoe. She went to daycare today, so she's extremely tired. But my dog's name is Zoe, which is short for Zoara, a.k.a. Zoe Shiesty. She's a bad dog, but she has anxiety, so I try and give her some slack. But that's what's going on with her. Tina says, hello from Baton Rouge. Okay, so Tina's checking in from Louisiana. Good to hear how your weekend went. Yeah, it was a good weekend. It was a much-needed weekend of rest. I had a lot of things planned for this weekend, and I didn't get I had like 3 events to go to. I didn't make it to a single event. I was exhausted. But after getting 2 nights worth of sleep, 2 nights with 8 hours of sleep back-to-back, I feel like a whole different person. Megan, I appreciate that. Yeah, she's a very she's a pretty dog. I'm looking at her. But she's a pandemic dog, so she's not really accustomed to being around other dogs, and she likes people, but it takes her a while to get used to the people. Chantel says, yeah, it's been so long since I've been able to see you live. I'm so excited. Chantel, I'm excited that you're excited to see me. Your excitement is the reason why I do this. So thank you so much for your attention, and I'm happy that you're here. Shannon, hi, I'm Shannon from Connecticut. I'm autistic and have ADHD. My happy places are the beach and on farms. So Shannon, thank you so much for this. I'll give you a love of the show, and I'll tell you why. So you get a love of the show because this is something that I'm going to focus on more for the rest of this year and also going into next year. I want to know a little bit more about you all, more than just your diagnosis, right? Like you're autistic, you have ADHD, so RDHD. I guess that's a term for it. That's cool, but there's so much more to us than just our diagnosis. Like some of us like to go to the beach, some of us like to go to the farm, and getting to know you all past your diagnosis is something that I'm going to be very intentional about. So thank you for letting me know that, Shannon. I appreciate that. Amber says, Zoe is my brother's name. Zoe Ball for the Pelicans. So I guess Zoe is also a guy's name. Talk about grief, trauma, and ADHD. We will definitely discuss that. I have a couple of tips for neurodivergent individuals like myself, and we're going to talk about all those things today. Sharo, good morning. You must be probably like on the east side of the world. Good morning. Good morning. I'm glad you're prioritizing your health. I appreciate you. Thank you. And likewise, Kendall. Julie from Cornwall, Ontario. I like to quilt and do dishes. Calms down the stressful day. My husband's 55 and 13 years being about. Oh, wow. And it's interesting to see all the people who are being diagnosed with ADHD as well, but also people who are being diagnosed with autism later in life. It's going to make a lot of things make sense for you when you get that diagnosis. You're like, I knew I was like a little bit different from everybody else, but I just didn't know what it was. So it's good to put a name to it so you can reach your full potential, or you can reach higher, as you like to. Hi, Kodra. Junior, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Your videos have encouraged me to really embrace my individuality and have a deeper emotional. Right. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, Gino, because if you are neurodivergent and allow, so ADHD and autism, these things don't pop up out of anywhere, like you're born with it, more or less. So you probably, even if you're diagnosed later in life, you were going through these things and you just felt like you're a little bit different in life, and you probably had to mask to fit in. And at some point you're like, all right, I want to kind of know who I am, so you're trying to get back to yourself and you're trying to love the person that you are. And that's all that I want you all to do. Like, I want y'all to recognize that if you're watching this, you're a star. You're a star. Somebody asked me, they were talking about celebrity doctor. I'm like, I'm not a celebrity doctor. I'm a star. I'm a star. I'm somebody who has struggled with mental health, and I'm using my platform to help other people with mental health. And you all who are watching, y'all are also stars too. There are things that you all are good at. And I will bet you that everybody watching right now, all 37 people, there are things that you all can do, and you're better than 99% of people at certain things. And if you live out in the open and you do everything that you can to help out other people and help out yourself and exhibit your talent, that makes you a star. So Gino, you're a star, and I'm happy that you're in this platform. Thank you for being here. Hey, from Tennessee. Tanya, what's going on? Good to see you again. Went to the beach. Yeah, no, the beach is also on my happy places as well. Emotional intelligence. Okay. Oh, that's what you were saying earlier. Watching your videos has led me to believe I'm autistic. Now I can move in the right direction. I've been wondering what was wrong with you. So Danielle, my bad. I said Danielle. Danielle, real quick, let me just elaborate. All right, let's just say for the purposes of this conversation, let's say you're autistic, right? I can't diagnose you through Facebook Live, but let's say you're autistic. If you're autistic, it doesn't mean that anything is wrong with you. You're just different, but nothing is wrong with you, right? So, but that's how society sees it. Like, you say you're autistic or you have ADHD, and somebody will be like, damn, that's what's wrong with you. There's not a single thing wrong with you. You're just different, right? You're just different. Like, some people like peanut butter and jelly, and some people like putting spread on Nutella on their sandwich. Like, different doesn't mean that anything is wrong with you, right? So even if you're autistic, you're just different. Doesn't mean that anything is wrong with you. Meezy, I'm trying to think. I'm not sure. Could you remind me? Leilani, what's going on? Leilani's one of our moderators. She's checking it from Tennessee, so go ahead and say hey to Leilani. So happy I found your page, Ramley. Hey, I'm happy you found my page as well, and you're autistic as well. Well, welcome to the chat. You're in the right place. I just found your channel yesterday, and I can relate so much with your content. Well, Gina, welcome to the chat. I'm happy you're here. Oh, you're in the Philippines. All right, so y'all are 15 hours ahead of me in Los Angeles. So it is. Yeah, it's like 10 o'clock over there. So good morning. I feel you. The beach is my happy. Same here. I don't go to the beach enough, and I'm ashamed because I live in Los Angeles and I need to go to the beach more. Can you tag the creators? All right. So Tia, the creators that I react to, I know I reacted to I forgot the guy's name. Oh my gosh. I know I just reacted to Morgan Foley. I've reacted to a couple of her videos. So when I react to somebody's video, I tag them on TikTok automatically. And I don't post my own videos on other platforms. My assistant does it for me. So I'm going to make sure that he tags them on Instagram. And if they have a YouTube account, we'll tag them as well. Because when I tag somebody, I also want you all to go and look at all of their content. Because if one of my videos gets a lot of attention, I would like it if y'all went to that person and y'all follow them as well. Because I remember when I was a smaller creator, when I had 30,000 followers and a bigger creator would react to my stuff or shout me out, it would bring in a whole lot of new followers. So the best thing that we can do for the people that I react to, please go and flood their accounts. Go follow all of them. I mean, if you like the content, but if you like the content that I reacted to, there's a good chance that you like their content. Pretty sure I'm ADHD too. And Megan, to be honest with you all, sometimes I think that I'm autistic, but I'm like, I don't want to take the test if we're being honest. But I mean, I can't diagnose myself. I know what it looks like, but I can like I could be pretty sure if I'm autistic or not because like I know about it. So I got some thinking to do there. Using your style, I appreciate you. I'm curious about bipolar disorder and how many behaviors give neurodivergent vibes. So, Mariella, the word neurodivergent, right? And we'll get into the three tips in just a second. But the word neurodivergent, like neuro, brain, divergent, like you're going a different way. Your brain is different. And a lot of people, when it comes to neurodivergent, we think ADHD and autism. But I wouldn't be opposed to putting bipolar disorder there as well, because you're different. You're not bad. You're just different. And I treat people with bipolar disorder all the time. It's not a difficult disorder to handle, in my opinion. And I mean, I think I'm pretty good at what I do. I might not be the best, but I don't think bipolar disorder is difficult to handle. But it does mean that you are different. Megan, you are a star as well, Megan. I like the little two fingers that you threw up. It's a pretty big question, but my mom just owed me when she found out autistic. Do you think some parents can't handle? So, Dub, I'll say this real quick. A lot of times people don't like. For example, when I told my parents I had ADHD, I was like in the 3rd or 4th grade. My mom was like, "No, you don't have anything. We're gonna pray for you. We're just gonna pray for you." And I went home and I prayed, and then I went to school the next day and I failed the test. And I'm like, am I praying to the wrong Mickey Ficky? What's going on? But my parents didn't understand mental illness. So as I grew up, I learned to forgive them and just kind of, move along with it. But don't take it personally because people don't understand mental health. Let me get to a couple of questions. Let me get to the comments section and then I'll get into the my notes because I'm having fun here. Something I've been facing. Yeah, it's actually look. This is a neurodivergent live stream. So we do whatever we want here. We do whatever we want, right? And right now, just throw your questions or comments to me because I'm on a roll. Something I've been facing lately, people saying everyone has ADHD in some way and ADHD isn't an actual disability. So frustrating. So Chantel, this is frustrating. And what I tell you to do in this situation, don't go back and forth with these people. Don't go back and forth with them. Now, if it's your mom or somebody close to you, all right, it could be worth it trying to explain. But when I hear this type of thing, I don't go back and forth. I'm not gonna argue with you, because if the more you keep explaining, you get frustrated. I'm like, this condition costs me a lot of money. This condition is like sabotage some of my relationships. ADHD is no joke. This condition makes it easier for me to fall into substance use. But if somebody's like, "Oh, everybody has ADHD," I'm like, okay. Like I just say, okay. I'm not going back and forth with you. I'm just gonna be like, okay. Narita from New Mexico, ADHD sub-type inattentive. I appreciate you, Narita. Welcome to the chat. And Leilani says, it's not wrong. It's just what's going on. Everyone has their own thing going on. Right. And I like peanut butter sandwiches over bananas. So it doesn't make me a bad person. We're just different, right? Emily, happy to see you again. And the subject for today, we're talking about tips and tricks for neurodivergent people for success. I have 3 things for you all. How to thrive as a neurodivergent individual. Let me see. Finally finding out I was autistic after 37 years finally made me understand that there is nothing wrong with me. And it opened up the way I accept your silly, unconventional self. Gina, this is fantastic. And like I say, I got to look at the camera when I say this. If you have autism, if you have ADHD, there's nothing wrong with you. The only difference is that your brain is a bit different. And if you try and live a neurotypical lifestyle and you're neurodivergent, it's going to cause you a lot of stress, a lot of pain, a lot of frustration, and you're going to burn out. So that's the purpose of this live stream. We're going to talk about 3 tips and tricks for neurodivergent individuals to succeed. So pretty much we just have to create a new world for ourselves, right? That's what we have to do. I've been trying to do that my whole life, and I never really knew what was going on, but I was really just yearning and searching for a new way to live where I could accept myself, right? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Kayla, Apoko Ajaman, what's up? Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Am I going to be writing another book soon? I would hope so. I would hope so. We got the way. That's my book right there, Feeling Good. But I'll have to talk to Simon and Schuster and see what their plans are. But I would love to write another book soon. I really would. Let me talk about this real quick. There's online tests that can tell you that you may have autism, but the only way to know is to go sit in front of a professional. That's the only way to know. Only way to know. You got to sit in front of a professional. All right, let me get to a couple of questions, and then I'll get into my tips. One thing that helps is going out to nature. I agree. Mississippi here. What's up, Nikki? If I hear you, give it to God one more time. Nikki. Nikki, Nikki. The times that I've heard give it to God, and look, I'm a Bible believing Christian. I believe in I'm a Christian. I don't force it on you all. I don't talk about it too much, but I'm a Christian. That's what I believe. But when you tell somebody who's going through mental health issues, oh, give it to God, just pray to God, what you're doing, you don't know, you're gaslighting that person. Like, they know that something is wrong with them, but you're just telling them that they have to give it to God. But in the Deep South, I grew up in between Tennessee and Georgia. This is the type of rhetoric that we hear. So now that we know better, we gotta do better, right? We gotta do better, Nikki. Just to be clear, I haven't been diagnosed, but I share some of the same qualities you post about. Oh, and Corey, same here. I haven't been diagnosed with autism either, but sometimes I suspect it. I suspect it. And thanks for the tip. I never really knew what ADHD autism was. As soon as I heard about it, a lot of the traits, I feel like my entire personality has been explained. Yeah, it puts a lot of things into perspective. And yeah, we make our own schedule of these live streams. You realize here, my guy struggle with mental disorders, and it's not easy conversation to have around normies. I feel hella awkward a lot of time in society. The Corey, I'm right there with you. This is how I grew up, and that's why my platform would be for people who grew up this way. Because as you get older and you yearn to be more of yourself, you deserve to like who you are. You deserve to like who you are, and we have to talk about these things. And my thing is, I'm living a lifestyle where I'm going to be unapologetically myself. I don't care what other people think. And I hope you don't care what other people think. We're going to live our lives to the best of our abilities. We're going to be kind to other people. We're going to be respectful. We're going to do what we have to do, but we're not going to care about other people's opinions of ourselves. We don't do that over here. Tips to stop chronic lateness. So what I do is, like I'll set my car time, in my car. Right now it's 7:34 in California, right? Y'all can't see it. Come on. There we go. It's 7:34 in California, right? So I'll set my the time in the car to be like 15 minutes ahead. So my car will say it's 7:50. So that way I'm like, oh, I'm running late. I have to trick myself into being on time. This has been my whole life. I still got to do it, and it's cool. Let me answer this question, then I'll give you all the first tip and trick for success. Does untreated bipolar disorder lead to schizophrenia? So no, Marie, it doesn't work that way. Bipolar and schizophrenia, there are a lot of similarities, right? And the treatment can be the same a lot of the times, but untreated bipolar disorder does not lead to schizophrenia. They're two different things. Schizophrenia is a mood disorder where you can have psychosis, which you see in schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is a thought disorder, right? And within the spectrum of the thought disorders, you can have schizoaffective disorder, which could look like bipolar disorder with psychosis. It's a little bit confusing, but to answer your question, untreated bipolar disorder does not lead to schizophrenia, but you can have bipolar disorder, and because it's not treated, let's say you're in a manic episode and it's not treated, then you can start to hear voices, right? Because you might have mania with psychosis. So untreated bipolar disorder could look like schizophrenia, but in my opinion, I wouldn't say that it would lead to schizophrenia. It's kind of complicated. I hope I'm not confusing you, because I tried to confuse y'all. I want to break it down into like simple terms. When I answer these questions, I think of my 11-year-old niece. If I'm talking to her, can she understand me? So I hope it makes sense. All right. Okay. So the first tip and trick for success as a neurodivergent individual, and Catherine, I'm 30 years old, and this is how I've been my whole life, and I just have to keep being this way. And it works. It works. It works for me. It works for me. Laying in my backyard, watching the moon and the stars right now. Oh, that's a vibe. That's a vibe. That's a vibe. All right. So the first tip and trick for success as a neurodivergent individual, you have to get a routine / a system. This is so important. You need to get a routine / system. It doesn't have to be an elaborate routine. It doesn't have to be an elaborate system, but you need to have somewhat of a system so that way when things go wrong, you can identify what went wrong and you can correct it. Keep in mind that, take ADHD for example. If you have ADHD, it's going to be hard to keep things up. So you might come up with a system, and guess what? After a while, you let it go. You said you were going to go to the gym or whatever, and then you dropped off. You said you were going to like take yoga classes, and after a while, you dropped off or whatever. That's fine. That's fine. Don't judge yourself. Whenever you can get back on track, that's fine. But you should always have some type of system or a routine that you're aiming towards, right? And Chantel says a routine. Yes, but it's good to know that it doesn't always need to get done. Yes. So Chantel, let me talk about that real quick. So I wish I had one of my my to-do lists here. Every day I have a million things to do. Like my life is really busy. I have an entertainment company that I'm I got eliminate trying out my vocabulary. I have an entertainment company that I run, which keeps me very busy. And I'm doing my best to take the magic in social media and move it to short films and then have it on TV for you all, because I want this community to be represented in Hollywood. So that business takes up a lot of my time. On top of that, I post videos. I'm still a brother, a son. I do things for my family. I'm all over the place, right? So every single day I have like 12 things to do. I'm not going to get all 12 things done. No, that's not realistic. So what I do is I pick one or two things that are a priority and I get those things done. So for example, today, what were my priority items? My priority items were to wake up in the morning on time because I had an interview on TV on ABC7. So if I oversleep the interview, I'm going to be extremely embarrassed. That's one of my biggest fears. I'm going to oversleep my ABC7 interviews that we do on Mondays, the Mental Health Mondays with Dr. Kojo. So what I do for that is I set like 12 alarms. I get my whole family to wake me up, and like it's a whole ordeal to get me up in the morning. But that was my priority task. Doing that, getting to the gym, and putting gas in my car. Those are like my main priority tasks, because Tuesday, the week is going to get busier and busier. So I don't want to have this thing where I hop on the highway, the 405, and I'm riding, I'm listening to my Drake, I'm listening to my NBA Youngboy, I'm having a good time. And then I look and see that I have like 12 miles until empty. And I'm like, all right, now I have to maneuver and get off the highway. And I have to get gas. And I have to get back on the highway. So I'm like, no, I'm going to prepare. Because I've done this before. I do this all the time, where I don't prepare. So I pick a couple of things that are a priority. I knock those things out. If I can get to other stuff, that's fine. In fact, this right here is a priority because Mondays we do the late night show with Dr. Kojo. So that's a priority for me. So I want to get that done if I can't get anything else done, right? So you have to identify a couple of things as priority, and everything else, if you can't get it done, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. But go off the priority first. And people who have ADHD, this is something that we really struggle with. We really struggle with priority. We'll have like 5 things to do. 2 will be priority. But we'll be scatterbrained and we're like, man, I'm just chilling. I'm just like we'll avoid a task until it becomes extremely urgent. And then when it's time to do the thing, we're completely exhausted and we don't have the energy to move forward, right? So if you go off the priority task, it will help you out, So just have a system and a routine. It's going to save your life. And I hate having a system and a routine. Trust me, I hate it, but it's going to save your life. Please, please, please have a system, have a routine. Let me see. I get really angry when someone messes up. Emily, I'm the same way too, but I've learned to not get so like pissed off, because in the morning I want to wake up, like I pray real quick. I thank God for waking me up. I put my music. I go to the gym. I don't like my morning routine to be like shaken up, but like if I had a girlfriend, like I'm sure, on some days she might piss me off for something that she did. Some days I might wake up and piss her off. Like that's just relationships. So when you live with somebody else, you have to allow for space, be a little bit more flexible. I'll be much more flexible in that situation. But my morning routine is locked in, and I feel you when it shifts like even a little bit, and we see that a lot with autistic individuals. So Emily, thank you for bringing this up. This is a good point. A lot of people with autism they'll have a routine or a system, and when they're forced to break away from that system, they don't like that. And I don't like that either. That's why I'm like, I don't know if I need to take the autistic test. But you know, routines are important. Yeah, routines are important. I have a time repairing my self-esteem when I dropped the ball by working on it. Right. So, and look, self-esteem comes from repeated achievement. When you do something over and over and you keep the promises that you make to yourself, your self-esteem goes up. When you say you're going to do things over and over and over and over and you don't do it, that just drops your self-esteem. And a lot of us who are neurodivergent, we struggle with that, especially on the ADHD side. Oh, I'm going to do that. You can't get it done. It drops your self-esteem. Because what is ADHD? What is ADHD really? ADHD is knowing what to do, but not being able to do the thing. And it's very frustrating when you know what you got to do, but you just can't do the damn thing, you know? And like I pound my fist because like I've been there before. I'm always like there, and then I get back on track, and you know. And Kendall, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. While only 30, been following you for a while. Your stuff on women with ADHD, OMG, changed my life this year. Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate you. These comments right here, like when y'all leave comments like this, the way that it makes me feel really good. So I really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bipolar and schizophrenia, isn't schizoaffective disorder a combination of the two? Yes. So real quick, just to clarify earlier, schizoaffective disorder is a combination of the two, but the difference is with schizoaffective disorder, you see this, the psychosis is the main part, right? The thought disorder part. So schizoaffective disorder is mainly schizophrenia, right? And there'll be a period of time when you have schizoaffective disorder where you have just the schizophrenic symptoms, and then the mood lability, the mood bipolar symptoms can come in, right? But when it's bipolar disorder with psychotic symptoms, then the bipolar disorder is the part that's the main part. And then sometimes you have the psychosis. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, that's fine. Because when I was in school, to be honest with you all, when I was in school, this was the hardest concept for me to understand. So if y'all get it, congratulations. If you don't get it, don't feel bad. I had to have like 4 psychiatrists try to explain schizoaffective disorder to me. I just couldn't get it, you know. So like, if you can kind of get it, don't blame. No, if you don't get it, don't blame yourself. And it's no, Tina, it is. And look, I didn't say you have to keep the system or routine. You have to at least have something there. Just have something. You don't have to really like. Who follows their routine every single day of the year? That's not natural. But at least to have something there is helpful, right? I think of Stewie from Family Guy. This is funny. This is hilarious. I feel like my routine works well, my body, with my mental well-being, but I don't feel like I could ever develop or stick to a routine. So Farron, I hope I'm saying that correctly. That right there is one of the biggest issues that we have as neurodivergent individuals. We don't believe that we can develop and or stick to a routine because it feels so overwhelming. So, Farron, if your routine is I wake up in the morning, I make my bed, I brush my teeth, and I drive to work. That's the system. That's it. We got to keep it super simple. I would write that down and then every single day check it off. Your system right now is things that you already do every single day. And then when you check it off, you're like, okay, I'm doing it. I'm doing the damn thing. I'm doing it. And your self-esteem goes up like this, right? So you can develop and stick to a routine. This is my first time seeing you on here, but I'm telling you that I know you can, but we have to make it simple, just to start off with, right? Journaling is amazing. And how do you begin to make it a routine? Journal for like 2-3 minutes every day. Don't make it. And my biggest issue, I like to like handle everything at once. So I remember before I became consistent with the gym, I would go to the gym, for a couple of months, and then I would take a break. And then when I would go back to the gym with my brother, I would try to run 4 miles the first day that I got back to the gym. I'm like, I'll get winded out. And then my brother's like, Coach, you can't run 4 miles. You took a long break. Come back and run a half a mile, and then a mile, and then we'll go from there, right? So that's how we get a routine. We got to take it easy. And this chair is so squeaky. I'm seconds away from replacing this chair. It's pissing me off. I have manic bipolar disorder. Is it normal after having a manic episode to not remember anything? So I will say this about manic episodes. When you have a the more manic episodes you have, it does take a toll on your brain. So your memory could be affected. So it's important to give yourself some grace. You have to be kind to yourself, Emily. Having plans better than no plan, I agree. And I'm reading my comments backwards, y'all. I hate when people say, if you know what to do, why don't you do it? I'm like, I wish I knew. Right. And Maria, a lot of people don't understand how things work for those of us with ADHD, right? Because we know what to do. We just can't do it. My grandson is 7 and highly autistic. If he messes his routine, he gets furious. I can only imagine an adult having a routine off. Right. And of course, Tina, like that autistic child will learn over time different ways to, manage schedule interruptions, because that's a part of life. But you can gradually help them along the way. Shea Johnson, not is it Shay? It's not Shea. Shay, right? Shay. I said Shay, my bad. Kind of like Shea Stadium in New York. It used to be called Shea Stadium. First time in here, this is super helpful. Well, I appreciate that, Shay. And if I'm saying your name incorrectly, please let me know. I have a daughter with ADHD and autism. Just found you, and you've helped me understand her so much better. Naomi, I appreciate that. Oh, it's time for the water break. Mickey Ficky. Let me go get some water, y'all. Maybe a new chair as well. Maybe a new chair. Give me a new chair. This chair right here, pissing me off. Let me show y'all the chair I got. There's one of the chairs that it twists around, but it makes a squeaky sound. Now it doesn't make the sound, but y'all heard it. But those sounds just irritate me. It's like a pet peeve of mine. I can't do that. There we go. Ooh, all right, y'all. It's time for the water break. All right. If you got meds, it's time to take your meds. If you have nighttime meds, right? If you got nighttime meds, the water break. Actually, I never thought about this. The water break is the perfect time to take your nighttime meds if it's nighttime wherever you're at, right? So whatever meds you got, your Zyprexa, your Risperdal, whatever meds you got, now's the time to take them. And if you're let's say you're in the Philippines and it's the daytime for you, you got to take your Prozac or your Zoloft or whatever. Now's the time to take your medications because it's a water break. Trash a reminder as well. Today's Monday. Oh, mine's on Wednesday. I got scared. All right, y'all. Big cheers. Clearly, I was dehydrated today. It's so silly. All right, okay. This chair doesn't have enough. It didn't have support. Your place looks nice. It looks nice today because the housekeeper came by and cleaned up everywhere. I'm not ashamed to admit that. I most days I have no energy to clean my house. And before she came, this place was dirty. I had piles of clothes there, I had clothes that I didn't fold. I was out of energy, so it's tough. It's tough. All right, let me ask a couple of questions, and I'll get to the next ones. Is it normal to have imposter syndrome when you're professional? Yeah, anybody can have imposter syndrome, And I think whenever you feel like you have imposter syndrome, this is what I want you to do. I want you to tell yourself. In fact, I have a reminder on my phone. Let me show you this reminder. All right. This is what it says. That's what my phone says. Remember who TF you are. And I don't like to use profanity on the live stream, but remember who you are. I tell myself that every day to help combat imposter syndrome. Like, I need to remember who I am. Like, I got to remember that. So likewise, Sierra, I see, I think it looks like you have a kid in your your profile picture. But remember who you are. Like, you're a good ass mom. You're a good person. You know, you're somebody's daughter. You have to tell yourself that, or else you'll sometimes forget. Lee Rose, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. How do you cope with ADHD while depression is getting worse? So you have to be kind to yourself, Angelica. You got to be kind to yourself. Keep in mind that when you have ADHD, 70% of people with ADHD go on to develop depression, right? So ADHD and depression are like siblings. They're siblings. They're like really close. And ADHD and bipolar are cousins. They're really close. ADHD and anxiety, I'll call those two siblings as well, right? So when you have ADHD, having that by itself is going to make things harder for yourself. And if the depression is getting worse, I need you to do anything, something to make you feel better about yourself. Anything, not anything, right? Not something that's going to hurt somebody else or yourself, but do something to help you remind you of who you are and the good person that you are, right? Whether it's taking the trash out, getting a dog out for a walk, anything, Angelica, like anything, please, just anything, right? I'm going to read the comments backwards, y'all. Someone made fun of me because I put my work schedule on my phone as a reminder, even though it's a set schedule. Well, Kendra, you can tell that person to go kick rocks. How can I help my son with ADHD? He's 9, he struggles. I get frustrated and I worry that this will ruin our relationship. So, Nora, I can already tell the fact that you're on here asking for help, you're already a good mom, right? And I need all the parents out there to listen to this. If you're a parent and your child has ADHD, it's not because you're a bad parent, all right? Now, did you give your child the ADHD? Probably, because it's genetic. But you're not a bad parent. You're doing the best that you can. And your son is 9 right now. But guess what? In 5 years, he'll be 14. In 10 years, he'll be 19. In 20 years, he'll be 29. So whenever I'm working with kids with ADHD, I don't just focus on the 9-year-old who's in 4th grade. I focus on the 9-year-old who's going to become a teenager one day, who's going to become a man. So the best thing you can do right now is to admit that, hey, son, I might not know how to help you out with this, but I want to put you in a position to where you can feel good about yourself. Ask him what he needs. The small things over time is going to help him out. So you're not a bad parent. I just want to let you know that. Thanks for your information and help. I wanted a specific way to test women for ADHD. There's no specific test, Tiffany, unfortunately. You have to get in front of a professional and then they ask you a couple of questions, right? And for me, look, I have this neurodivergent superpower where I can just look at somebody and I can tell if they have ADHD. I'm not like sure about it, right? But like if a patient comes in and I'm talking to them and they're not making eye contact and they're like, yeah, I went to school. I'm like, there's a good chance that they can have ADHD, right? But you still have to like follow through with the assessment. Give your body time to adjust and show yourself some grace because side effects. Oh, talk about medication. Okay. And I was looking to get on meds, haven't taken meds since I was a child. Any suggestions? Look here, I'm not sure what you were talking about, but when you get in front of a provider, hey Zoe, y'all see Zoe? Shazzy, why she look so sad? You made me look like I'm a bad dog parent. All right, so look here. If you haven't been on meds since you were a child, when you get in front of a doctor, let them know, hey, when I was so-and-so, I used to take this medication to help me out. I'm an adult and I feel like I'm struggling now. They'll ask you questions. They'll probably have to re-diagnose you. But sometimes the best thing you can do if you were on meds as a child, you took a break and you want to get back on them, the best thing you can do is just find a provider and start that process sooner than later. Because this is just my opinion, but I feel like neurodivergent adults struggle more than neurodivergent kids, right? If you're a kid and you have ADHD or autism, guess what? You got a mom, you got dad, right? Maybe you don't have two parents, but you have maybe a parent or somebody, a caregiver. You got a teacher at school watching out for you. You got counselors who are checking to see if you're keeping up with things. There's so many different things. You have checks and balances. But when you're an adult and you're neurodivergent, it feels like it's hopeless. That's why there's the suicide rate goes up for adults with ADHD and autism, and you're trying to explain yourself to other people. And that's why I say you can explain yourself to people who don't understand you, or you can take the most linear path to getting some help. Because do that, then to go back and forth with somebody who's like, oh, well, everybody's autistic nowadays. Everybody's watching TikTok. I'm not going to go back and forth with somebody like that. I'm going to take the most linear path and get some help for myself, you know? So I would say do your best to get some help for yourself, and don't judge yourself. Don't judge yourself, all right? And, right, exactly. That's the love of the show right there. They expect you as an adult to be functional, right? If you miss an appointment, why weren't you there? You know what time you got to show up. If you get to work late, oh, you must not care about your job. Huh? Why do you get to work late? If you go to work and you didn't put on deodorant because you've been depressed for 2-3 weeks, like that person smell, that person funky, right? When you're an adult, the pressure is so much higher. And I mean, I'm telling you all this stuff, but it's taken me years to like recognize this. And I've had to set boundaries. I've had to cut people out of my life, you know. And the older I get, I'm becoming more unapologetic about how I'm gonna do things, because nobody knows what you're going through, right? Nobody knows what you're going through, but they're gonna assume. So sometimes, especially if you're neurodivergent, sometimes the best help that you can give yourself is to prioritize yourself and let people think about. Let them say what they want to say about you. That's not any of your business. Just let them do what they want to do. We don't care. We just don't care. It's unspecified anxiety and depression recurring. That's like, Ricky, what is the question there exactly? I'm not sure. I love being able to share your impactful videos with my husband to help him understand me better. Agree, Submarine. I appreciate that. And I think it's easier to just send somebody a video than to have to like explain. And when I say don't waste your time explaining things to people, I'm not talking about like your husband or your spouse. Like for people who are like in our lives, yes, explain to them. But when somebody out the blue comes and you're trying to explain to them, it's probably not a good use of your time. You made yourself Emily, there you go. You said you were going through a hard time. You made yourself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. If all you did today was make a PB&J sandwich and you've been having a hard day, you have to give yourself credit for that, okay? And most adults will shame you for that. I'm just telling you the truth. They'll be like, oh, you're a grown-up and you made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and you what do you want? You want a cookie? And for those people, don't even go back and forth with them. Just smile and then just leave. Like, we don't have to call them. Just leave. Just leave. And yeah. She's a Australian Shepherd. She's a mini Aussie though. A mini Aussie. She's tired. She wasn't good today at daycare. They have to put her in timeout. I'm trying to make a case for a new psychiatrist. Sometimes you might have to switch your psychiatrist. Shasti. My doctor often tells me to be kind to myself. What does that look like in a practical way when you're having a day with especially bad ADHD symptoms? So, Allie, I can answer this question because I have these days a lot where I'm running behind, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes it happens on like these days where I'm running behind, blah, blah, blah. And then my assistant will let me know that Leilani sent an email, and then he'll be like, are you going to go on the show tonight? I'm like, yeah, I'll try and get on the show, but I'm behind and I'm in traffic. What I would say is on those days, find anything that you can be proud of. Find one thing that you can be proud of that day and be proud of yourself. Anything. And if you can't find anything, just tell yourself that you're a good person and find a reminder of that. Whether you've done something for somebody recently or, somebody that you're close with, you can call them and let them know you're having a bad day. They'll help remind you of the person that you are. Okay. And if your day is going so bad, sometimes if I'm having a bad day, I'll find one thing that I'm proud of. And it'll be like, it's 8:00 now, but it might be 9:30. And I'm like, you know what? This is the time that I would watch like Black Mirror on Netflix, or watch some more comedy, or, write some new jokes for my stand-up. And I'm like, nah, I'm just going to sleep. Let's just call it a day. Sleep early, wake up the next day, and it's a brand new day. We get to start over the next day. And everything that happened the day before, we don't have to bring it into we get to start all over. That's the beauty of the day turning. It's like another page turning, right? So just remember that it's a bad day, not a bad week. And even if it's a bad week, it's not a bad life, right? We have to remain optimistic. But when things are bad, we can also acknowledge it. I don't want us to be using like toxic positivity to gaslight ourselves. Can ADHD be misdiagnosed as a hormone imbalance? It could be misdiagnosed as a lot of things. I would not be surprised for somebody to be misdiagnosed, and for a provider to say it's a hormone imbalance. And normally with women with ADHD, you're normally I don't say normally, but a lot of the times they'll be misdiagnosed, and then they have to wait until their 30s or 40s to get a proper diagnosis. Multiple alarms, everything. That's me too. Let me look at some of these comments. Yeah, you gotta give yourself some grace. It's unspecified anxiety and depression, a lifelong diagnosis, is debilitating and hard to deal with. All right, so here's the thing, right? You could have depression and anxiety. You could be diagnosed with it, and even if you're diagnosed with it, some people will receive a diagnosis of major depressive disorder, and after for so long, they'll get off of their medications. And some people are able to shake off a diagnosis, but I don't want to put such a big emphasis on, well, I gotta shake off this diagnosis. If you're going through it, the goal, like today's Monday, if you're going through it and it's a Monday, the goal should be to get from Monday to Tuesday, from Tuesday to Wednesday, and back around to the next week. Just take it one day at a time. My grandma used to sing this song, "One day at a time, sweet G." You know, that old hymn? Yeah, one day at a time. One day at a time. That's all we can do. One day at a time. And if you're able to get to a point where you don't need Zoloft anymore, cool. If you still need it, that's fine. But you have to be your own biggest cheerleader. Party at my Iggy. I like your name. I appreciate you as well. I appreciate you, and I like your name. And let me see. I can't find. Oh, yes, I want a cookie. Emily, yeah, I agree with you. I want a cookie too. I can't find a help educated therapist or identify my needs. Like, who can assess and help with so many outdated stereotypes and bias, even by professionals? Also, my mistrust now and dysregulation, as for over 25 years, treated for the wrong things, medicate for them, create worse problems with trauma. So, Lee, I agree with that, right? And there's a shortage of therapists and professionals and doctors and nurses and whoever who get it, right? A lot of folks don't get it, and people don't realize that when we go to school, right? Like, I went to Augusta University. That's where I got my education. When we go to school, school doesn't teach you everything you need to know. If anything, school teaches you how to break down and synthesize information so you can continue learning, and that way you can help out not only yourself, but help out your patients. Because believe it or not, like for you all at home, if you go into a doctor's office and you're a patient, your outcomes are dependent on the mental health of your providers. We have to be in a good space. We got to take care of ourselves, and then we have to continue learning so we can take care of you. So if people just stop at, oh, I got my degree, I'm a doctor, I'm a whatever, that's not going to be sufficient. You're going to need somebody who wants to keep learning, you know? Society expects you to act like an adult, but they treat you like a little kid, right? Life does suck, but it'll eventually get better as time goes by. Right. And look, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, October 24th. I don't know. It could be the worst day ever. But if I sit here and I let anxiety get the best of me, and it is the worst day ever, guess what? Then I didn't get to enjoy right now, and tomorrow was a bad day. So I have to reframe and challenge my thoughts and say, okay, it could be bad, but it could also be good. It could also get better. Megan, what's up? Welcome back. Welcome back. Kate, thank you very much. You're also a good person. And my ex-girlfriend's name was Kate, so that's how I know you're a good person. I'm starting Ritalin and the revs of my nervous system too much. Do you have any suggestions of a non-stimulant to help with ADD? So, you know, my team, you know, legal, they don't want me to talk about specific medications too much. But outside of Ritalin, there are many different non-stimulant options. So many. Certera, guanfacine. I think there's even a new one, Qualbreed. There's a new one. I've never prescribed that, but there's a lot of different non-stimulant options. Well, Butrin, you know, I can't tell you which one is going to work for you, but I want you to know that there's hope. And if Ritalin doesn't work for you, all hope is not lost. Like there's more, right? And I'm in a job, church, and family where I feel rejection. Ooh, so Tamar, I'm not telling you to leave your job. I'm not telling you to leave your church. I'm not telling you to leave your family. But whatever boundaries you can put in place to help you with this is going to help you feel better about yourself. And look, I'm Christian. I'm as Christian as they come. I'm not perfect. I'm still a Mickey Ficky, right? But there is religious trauma is a thing. Religious trauma is a thing, and a lot of times Christians, unfortunately, or anybody will use religion to make you feel bad about yourself, or say, "Oh, this is why this person is so bad. That's why they can't sit still in class because of X, Y, and Z." And I'm not saying that that's what's happening right now, but just understand that your well-being is also important. All right, I got a little sidetracked, but here's the second tip. Here's the second tip and trick for success. You have to monitor how you feel about yourself. This is very important for a couple of reasons. I believe that if you're neurodivergent, you're going to be more susceptible to things like abuse, whether it's verbal abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, abuse within relationships, gaslighting, narcissistic abuse. Because if you've been masking your whole life and you're trying to get away from that, you're trying to figure out how you feel about yourself. You're still trying to figure out who you are, and then you're trying to love the person that you're learning that you are, right? If that makes sense. You're learning who you are as a little bit later than the average neurotypical person because you've had to mask and it's been so difficult. So you need to know how you feel about yourself and make sure that when you don't feel good about yourself, you take a break, you challenge those negative thoughts, get them out of your head, and focus on ways to improve your self-esteem. Because when your self-esteem is low and you're just kind of like, when you do this, you give people the license to just step on you. And people may step on you and manipulate you, and they may not even do it on purpose, right? They're dealing with their own trauma and their insecurities. So we can't judge them. But if people are being mean to us and abusive, we got to get away. We got to get away. We got to get away. So it's very important to know how you feel about yourself. You got to know how you feel about yourself. And religious trauma, I could go on and on about this, and I'm the type of person, whenever I have kids, if my child comes to me and tells me that they feel uncomfortable in a church or with a certain person, I'm leaving the church. I'm leaving my kid over the person in church any single day. I've seen too much. I've worked with patients. I've seen too much in my personal life. I've seen too much in my professional life. I'm always going to choose my child and my family over the person in church. I'm sorry. Why is it so hard to be in a relationship, being an entrepreneur with ADHD and having to be independent to an extent? Why can't the other person understand why? So, Tina, I'm an entrepreneur with ADHD and it's difficult. So I can speak to this. And I mean, if I'm dating somebody, I'll let the girl know rather early on, sooner than later. Like, I have ADHD. This is how I move, so and so forth. And I'm not telling you how I am for sympathy. I don't want sympathy. I'm just telling you that this is my system right now. I'm learning a couple things I can do better, but right now, this is how I operate. But it's difficult to find somebody who can work within your system and who can be who's compatible with you. That's the thing. It's really difficult. So sometimes it's best to figure out what's a priority at that time. Is it your business? Is it the relationship? You can manage both, but it's going to be some work. Because if you're dating somebody, that person needs to be a priority. I don't know how other way I can say that. If you're dating somebody, that person should be a priority in your life. If it's a situationship or if it's a friends with benefits or they come over every Thursday, no, that's fine. Like, y'all have an arrangement where y'all do your thing. But if you're dating somebody, they have to be a priority in your life. And if you run a business, your business is automatically a priority. So you got to hash that out and you have to communicate. Communication is going to save you. My son has similar issues. He will only do what he wants or is interested in, wants to opt out and rush assignments. SMH. How do we approach this? Tips for kids. So a good thing that you could do is figure out what he's motivated by, right? And reverse engineer and work towards that. So use his motivations to get him to do things, but you have to let him know that as he gets older, there's going to be things that he has to do that he cannot rush through. When he's going for his first job and you're filling out that W-9 or whatever, and they're talking about withholdings. That stuff is so confusing. He can't just be like, the IRS will come for him, right? So there's certain things that we don't like doing as adults that we have to take our time with. So you can slowly explain that to him and test him. And I love natural consequences. Like let him do a certain assignment, but like low stakes. If he doesn't get it done, all right, he didn't get it done, so he's not able to go and do X, Y, and Z. Natural consequences, but not to like punish him and make him feel bad. Just to let him learn that, all right, son, in life we have to get certain things done, or if we don't get it done, like we're gonna have to like account for that in some way. I'm still in Mickey Ficky. Oh yeah, I'm in Mickey Ficky. Yeah, I don't let separate me from. Yeah, I'm a man of mistakes all the time. I'm not a perfect person. I know that I'm a villain in somebody's story. We all are, right? So you cannot judge yourself. Narcissistic abuse is terrible. Recently diagnosed with CPTSD. And look, so I believe, in my opinion, that there's a strong link between CPTSD and growing up neurodivergent, right? And CPTSD, in short, is trauma over time. Like PTSD is like a traumatic event that has shaken you and you haven't been able to get over it, right? And it's pervasive. It affects you. It affects your life. Like it can get deep. CPTSD is not an official diagnosis, but it is a thing, and I do believe that it is legitimate. You know, the chronic trauma over time is going to change you. And what happens is you learn to deal with the trauma, and it becomes a part of your life. It becomes a part of your being. And a lot of us who are neurodivergent, there's a big link with CPTSD, in my opinion. Oh, paperwork is difficult for me. A little off topic, I'm sorry, but one of the songs I love listening to when I feel lonely or guilty is a song called Not Your Fault, Hey You by Y'all. All right, okay. Nah, you know what? I'm going to just take a picture of this. Might bump that song a little bit later on. Might bump it a little bit later on. All right, so now this right here is the third tip and trick for success. This is very important. Hear me out on this. This is very, very important. I need you to unapologetically set boundaries. Set boundaries and stand on business. Please stand on your boundaries. With boundaries, we don't negotiate with boundaries, right? And y'all can give me an example of things that are boundaries for you. Like there's so many things that I have that are boundaries. For example, let's say if I'm dating somebody, right, and we're going back and forth, and they say, "I'll let you know," I don't accept. I'll let you know. I'm like, "Oh, well, we're busy. Let's reconvene and find another time." But if they can't deal with that, oh, all right, that's fine. Maybe we just shouldn't proceed with this. You know, another boundary that I have is when I go to these public events or these events out here in LA, I don't like giving my number out. And that's because I used to give my number out. Oh, let's talk business. I've trusted a lot of people. I've lost thousands of dollars working with people. And I'm like, these people don't have a good spirit. So now I'm pulling back. I don't want to give my number out. So I'll go to an event. Oh, follow me on Instagram. Send me a message. Send me an email. Oh, but it'd be good if I got your number. Yes, but I'm not comfortable giving my number out. I don't want to give my number out. Send me email or DM me, and then we can talk. Oh, well, then I can't. Then we can't talk. I'm sorry. And for those of us who are neurodivergent, a lot of times, especially in the autistic community, this thing where you mirror other people's personality and you mask so that you can fit in. And a lot of times you want to fit in so that way you don't take up space in the room and people don't realize that you're different. You want to just kind of go along with everything and make people feel comfortable. And like you don't want to make a big deal of anything, right? So a lot of times you mirror people, you do things that you don't want to do, and everything is kind of set up for you to just make the situation peaceful. So in that situation, if somebody's like, "Oh, come on out with us and we're gonna drink, we're gonna get messed up," and you're like, "I don't like to drink," you might be like, "Oh yeah, I'll come through." You don't want to do it, but you want to fit in. You don't want to be ostracized, right? So a lot of times you do certain things, and the issue with this is when you make decisions that you're not sure if you wanted to do it, it could lead to a lot of regret after the fact. Regret over time, in my opinion, is one of the quickest ways to fall into depression, right? So it's important to know that what we're feeling in the moment is actually what we want to feel. But if you don't know what you're feeling in the moment and you're not sure how to proceed, you can just pause and say, I need some time to think. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about it. I'm not sure. Right. But a lot of times people will pressure you to things that you don't want to do, but you do it just because you don't want to argue. It's just less of a headache to argue with them and go back and forth. So you have to set boundaries. And Lee says, yeah, set boundaries and be unapologetic about it. And Cal says, I always feel guilty if I manage to say no. So Cal, we're going to change this, but you're going to practice in small ways. When you go to Chipotle and they say, you want white rice or you want brown rice? Oh, I'll take white rice. Let me get a burrito bowl. And you say, oh, no beans. But then they accidentally put some beans on the rice. Instead of being like, oh, it's okay, I'll eat the beans. No, I don't want the beans. Can I get a new plate with just the white rice? And then let me get my double chicken. I don't want the beans on there. That's a perfect place to practice your boundaries. And then over time, then you can stand up to a significant other, a parent, and with family boundaries are the hardest. This is where I have struggled with for my whole life because I'm a family person. Like I'm out here in LA, you might see me at red carpet or whatever, or you might see me with so-and-so. It's not my girlfriend, just a friend. So it looks like I'm not a family person, but family is the most important thing for me. So for family, that's where I break my boundaries. And after you break your boundaries, guess what happens? You end up feeling really bad. And I'm like, I let it happen again. I said I wasn't going to do this, and I did it. And that type of thing, your self-esteem will tank over time. What you can do in that situation, don't judge yourself. Say, okay, I went against my boundary, and I'll do better. I'm not going to judge myself. I'm not a bad person for not being able to stand for myself. I did what I thought was best in the moment. But now that I know better, I'm going to do better moving forward. That's all you can do. Do not judge yourself, right? Do not judge yourself. And Alex Diamond makes me freeze when I answer about how I feel. Right. And I think I duetted a video where we're talking about that. This is something I see a lot with neurodivergent individuals. You're not sure how you feel in the moment, right? So people ask you, and you're like, oh, let me go do some research. I'm not sure what the right answer is to say. Or sometimes you might think that you have to say a certain thing, but you're not sure what to say. So you investigate to figure out what the right thing to say is, but you're not going off of what you actually feel. You're more so trying to appease the other person because you just don't know what you feel. That people pleasing, I still struggle with it, but I know I'm not the best version of Leilani if I'm constantly people pleasing. Right. And people pleasing, it's so hard to be your authentic self when you people please. And it's something that I've done my whole life because and sometimes I love brevity so much. I love to get in and get out. So I want to get in. I don't want to I don't want to disturb nobody. I just want to get in, do my thing, and then dip out. But as I've grown older, I've learned that if I don't address these people-pleasing tendencies, it's going to land you in more trouble. You're not going to know how you feel about yourself. Your self-esteem will tank. And people-pleasing goes hand-in-hand with masking. They go hand-in-hand, right? And another reason why somebody was talking about women with ADHD, a lot of the reasons, one of the biggest reasons, I don't know if it's the biggest reason, but one of the biggest reasons why women with ADHD get diagnosed so much later than everybody else, their 30s and 40s, and even beyond that, is because of the masking that they have to do. Because you realize that you're different from other people. So you're like, all right, I'm a little bit different, but I can kind of adjust who I am to kind of go along with things. So I'm going to adjust who I am just to like pacify people and make them feel comfortable and not make too much of a mess. I'm going to just go along with it. So you people please, and then you mask. And then over time, people assume that you're doing fine, right? Like, oh, she's smart. She's doing great. But they don't realize that it's taking you 4 hours to do something that the neurotypical person can do in 1 hour. You're having to burn so much of your energy just to get a simple thing done. So you're struggling in silence and everybody feels like you're good. So people will ask you for things. Oh, hey. They don't know that you're silently going through like a version of hell, right? But that's what masking does. Masking, it saves you when you're younger, right? But then as you get older, it kind of holds you back. But you can't judge yourself for masking because that's what you did to survive. Whatever you have to do to survive, you cannot judge yourself for that, right? And let me see these new comments. I'm scared to say something or talk to people because it can either be taken out of context or used against me. How can I not mask all day? So, Angelica, a lot of masking goes with another water break. I'm gonna pee at myself. I'll hold up the water break for just that. I'm gonna pee at myself. Zoe, bye, Zoe. Oh, wow, she's tired. Oh, yes. But look, how can you not mask all day? It's going to be very important to understand that at some point, look, check this out. If for the people who are watching right now, if everybody that you come across likes you, that's a problem, right? There's some people who are not going to like us. Some people will love us. But if every single person likes you, it could be a problem. I'm not going to say it's a problem, but it could be a problem. It could be a problem, right? Because sometimes if you like Alabama, like me right here, and you're like, I like Alabama, I like Alabama, I like Alabama, and you come across an Auburn fan, they might not like you. But then you're like, oh, I like Auburn too. It doesn't work that way. People who like Alabama like Alabama. People who like Auburn like Auburn. It might be a poor example, but you get what I'm saying. If everybody likes you, it could be a sign that you're trying to appease everybody. And it's cool to be hospitable. I'm from the South too, but this normally comes at your own expense, right? So that's why I want to caution you all about it. And Leilani, it's me as well. I'm working to be my more authentic self. And this social media journey has been really good for me because, like, when I come on here, I don't want to come on as like a doctor and be like, all right, guys, so the signs of, like, that's not me. Like, I want to say Mickey Ficky. I want to just be how I am in real life, you know? So, like, every day I practice it. I practice it every day. Rome, what's going on? How you doing? I'm 54 and I have no idea of who I am anymore after 20 plus years of chronic pain. And Cassandra, if that's how you feel at the moment, that's good now. But keep in mind that over time, we can get back to either who we know we are, or we can start to learn who we are. And like the older we get, we do change. So we do have to like recalibrate and figure out who this person is at 54, which is different than who you were at 44, which is a lot different from who you were at 34 and 24, and so on and so forth. I asked ChatGPT how to professionally say no. And look, I've had issues where I wanted to find the most professional way to say no, and then I just settled on no. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Because in real life, that's how I talk. Oh, you want? Oh, no, I'm good. Thank you so much. I'm good. Appreciate it. No, I'm good. But then when you have to be professional, it's like, oh, I'm very sad to inform you that I no longer want. No, like, I'm good. I'm good with work. I'm cool. Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm good. You know, is bipolar or neurodivergent? So not necessarily, but from how I understand the word neurodivergent to be, I would classify bipolar as neurodivergent. From what I understand of neurodivergent, I would classify it to be. I struggle when someone doesn't like me. The guilt feeling and the thought of what did I do wrong? It hurts to hang up on it. Chantel, this was me for a long time. Now, if somebody doesn't like me, Chantel, look, if somebody doesn't like you, hey, it's all good. Maybe we weren't meant to be friends. Thank you. Chantel, you got your husband, you got your family, you're good. Let them go. Let them go. And when people know that you have an overwhelming desire to be liked by them, they'll have you on a string. They'll play you however they want to play you, right? So if somebody knows that, they can manipulate you. They can take you all across the world to China and back. They can manipulate you, right? So I think it's really helpful when we don't care about the opinions of other people. We have to learn that sooner. And the way that most of us learn is by going through a hard time, and they were like, man, I shouldn't have cared, right? So don't judge yourself, right? But it's perfectly normal for people to not like you. It's perfectly normal, you know? Just say, hey, I'm good. Thank you so much. It's all good. We don't have to be friends. And you don't have to be mean to them. Now, if they're trying to like pressure you, at some point you're like, hey, go kick rocks. You know, I'm good. But for the most part, like, hey, I'm good. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'm good. Thank you very much. Let me see. I always want to be liked. I've masked for years. 2 years no alcohol. Yee! Love the show. Masking was necessary in childhood. I completely understand. Not anymore. It's hard. I also feel guilty where I don't like others. So Ginger, look, guys, we're all on this journey together, myself included. I can relate with this whole statement. I no longer feel guilty when I don't like somebody. It's not often that I come across somebody that I don't like, but normally it's like I don't like how they operate. Like I can't think of somebody I don't like, but for the most part, it's like I don't like how this person operates. And this could be, look, guys, this could be very painful. I'm telling you all from personal experience. There's people I grew up with that were like friends that I had, close friends. Growing up, when my intuition just kicks in, I'm like, you know what? I don't feel safe here anymore. I don't like being around this person's company. I just don't like it. I don't know. I don't like it. What I do then is I detach myself away from them, and they'll feel away. But I'm sorry, you're gonna have to deal with that on your own. I'll kindly explain, hey, like I'm gonna like do my thing and be over here. And I respect our friendship. But at the end of the day, whatever you have to do for yourself, you should not apologize for it. And sometimes you have to go through a very difficult situation before you're like, all right, I'm done. I'm done. So I don't want y'all to have to hit that situation where you lose enough friendships and you're like, all right, I'm done. And I've had to do that. It's been an interesting year for me, and I'm just being transparent with you all, because sometimes we outgrow people. And I'm just a regular Mickey Fakey. Like I live my life, but I've come out here to California, and success will, of course you're supposed to evolve and change, but success makes the people that you knew before act really weird around you. So for me, like I love doing this. Like it's a privilege. I get to come out here and talk to you all. It's a privilege. I get to talk on the news. It's like I love living in California, but it does come with things that you have to deal with over time. People feel differently about you. I've lost a lot of friends in this social media journey. People who are within my field, people that you all may watch on TikTok. But my thing is, if I don't feel respected and if I don't feel safe in a certain environment, if I have to watch how I am around you and we're supposed to be friends, it's not a safe space for me, So I've had to learn over time that, okay, this person was in my life. I used to love them being in my life, but I can no longer live this type of way where I'm trying to pacify and keep them in. It's not good for my mental health. It's not good. So sometimes you just have to, like Chantel says, tell them to go kick rocks in a nice way, obviously, unless they keep bugging you. How do I stop myself from over-explaining? Someone told me over-explaining is an excuse and it makes you look like you're lying. I don't think that it makes you look like you're lying. Over-explaining sometimes is something that you do, like a people-pleasing thing. Like you say, oh, I can't make it to your birthday party. All you have to say is, I can't make it. I'm so sorry. I appreciate you, but I can't make it. That's all. And if you want to explain some more because of your relationship with that person, that's fine. But once you say what you're going to do, you stand on business and that's it. I can't make it. I'm so sorry. I wish you the best. Thank you so much. If it makes you look like you're lying, that's fine. You don't have to worry about that. That's too much mental energy. Let them, if they think you're lying, cool. All right. Cool. And like, I'll hear rumors about me and like, I type my name on Google, like it'll be like Dr. Dakota Sarfa wife, and people say whatever you want to believe, it's fine, cool, that's fine, that's fine, cool, that's fine. And then when you're like that, people are like, dang it, because sometimes people will ask you things to get a certain reaction out of you, and not everybody who manipulates you means to manipulate you. That's very important to say. Like, not everybody is trying to manipulate you. Everybody's going through trauma. Everybody's going through their own issues. So that's why I'm so important on, we got to be kind to everybody. We have to be kind to ourselves. Not everybody's trying to manipulate us. But sometimes they may manipulate us, but they don't know that they're trying to do that. So as a therapist, I know that we're not perfect. We're all struggling with something, right? So at the end of the day, if their actions are coming off as manipulative, I'm still going to separate myself. But I can still have empathy for them and say, dang, that person's really struggling. I wish them the best. I hope they get back right. But for me, I gotta go. I gotta go. I want to learn about masking. I'm 62, and last month I was diagnosed as being ADHD and possibly autistic too. Is exhausting. Wolf Dreams is so exhausting, and look, you're 62 years old, but you're 62 years young. You have a lot of life ahead of you. So now we have to prepare for the rest of our lives. How can we learn to love ourselves? I want you to love the person that you are, right? You're a star. I'm not sure if you got the beginning of this live stream, but you are a star. You are good at something that most people are not good at. You're a star, and you deserve to look at yourself as a star, right? So learn to love yourself. Don't judge yourself, but you are a star, and you should be respected as such. Let me see. When I had been working on boundaries, I was once told no is complete. Kelly, hear me out. No is a complete sentence. I promise you. No. You put a comma after the no, because of course, like you're writing a sentence. You can just write no, put a dot there, and that's it. No. No is a sentence because look, no is the most powerful word in the vocabulary because it's only 2 letters, but it communicates what you need to communicate. No, I'm good. You want to come out, blah, blah, blah? No, like it's Halloween weekend, like in a week or so. And I'm not a fan of going out. Like I get, when I go to clubs, I get overstimulated. Like if it's a big event for a friend's thing, yeah, I'll come out because it's your birthday. But you're not gonna catch me at a club here in Los Angeles. I don't like going to the club. Oh, we're gonna go to the club and we're gonna chase some girls. I'm good. I can talk to girls. I don't want to go. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go. No, I'm not. And I used to over explain, say, nah, I'm just not. I'm busy. I'm trying to work on my business. I gotta make some content. I have to go live. Now it's just no. I don't want to go. Nah. I don't want to go. But like, if y'all want to go, like y'all guys go have fun. When y'all done, come back to the house. We can play PlayStation. But I don't want to go. Nah. And over time, people learn. Okay, all right, this guy's not gonna go out, and then they stop asking you. But Kelly, you're completely right. No is a complete sentence. You should not have to explain yourself after no. What is the difference between social anxiety and having this behavior because of autism? So you can have social anxiety and autism. You can have both. You can have both. But a lot of the things that people do when they're masking, when it comes to like the autistic experience, will look like social anxiety, if that makes sense. I hope I didn't confuse you. I hope I didn't confuse you. People who care about you and know you will accept your inability to show up without taking it. I got to stand for this right here. Pam, that's the love of the show. People, and look, and hear me out. So those of us who are neurodivergent, sometimes we know that we get sensitive, right? We take things personally. And I know sometimes I take things personally. I'll get sensitive. Somebody who cares about you and knows you will accept your inability to show up and they won't take it personally. And I'm at the point in my life where, like, with everything I'm doing here and all these followers, it's like a whole lot of stimuli. Like, I'm having to let my team take over my email. Like, I have to create a system because the brand is bigger than it was a year ago. If I don't manage this stuff, I'm not going to be able to take care of myself. So now I'm having to like relinquish stuff to my team and my assistants. I hate doing that because I'm a control freak, but I'm gonna give it up. 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 I'm gonna say no to more things. I can't be at every event. I can't show up at every event. So I'm gonna have to say no. I gotta take care of myself. No, I'm sorry, I can't make it. No. And then when you say no a lot, hear me out. This might be the most important thing I've said in this live stream. When you say no a lot, you will figure out who the people who are there for you, and you'll figure out who is there for something else, right? When somebody doesn't get what they want, watch that person. That shows you exactly who they are. It shows you exactly who they are. Oh man, we got this big concert coming up. Can you come through? Oh man, I'm tired. I can't come to your concert, but I wish you the best of luck, man. And like, send me some videos. No reply. They don't text you back. You text them back a couple of days. Hey, bro, what's going on? Like, how was the concert? No reply. Oh, okay, all right. So you've ghosted me because I said I couldn't come to your concert. Now you let me know how you feel about me. Because like Pam said, someone who cares about you will accept your inability to show up and they won't take it personally. And the reason why they'll do that is because they'll look at things from your perspective. They'll say, oh, okay, dang, they couldn't come to my concert. Oh, well, this is a good friend of mine. And like, if he couldn't make it, he'd normally come to my events, but he's just busy. So I trust him and I'm not going to make him feel bad. I love that right there. I love that. You're braver than me. I'll never Google myself because if I see a patient leave a bad review, I'll fixate it and sprout because someone doesn't like me and they didn't like the care of. Kelly, you should Google. Well, actually, hold up. Most times you really shouldn't Google yourself. Like I was looking for a particular thing, but you're probably right. And Kelly, what do you do? I'm curious now. Let's see, I can relate. Dr. Kojo, I'm 30 right now. I might not be social media famous, but I've had you had to let several longtime friends go since 2020 due to realizing that I was being disrespected and I didn't feel safe. So, Maya Reed, look, and I've had to do this thing too. And this right here, this might be more painful than a breakup. Like I've gone through breakups where I break up with a girl and then I'm like, man, like, what am I going to do? Like, who's going to remind me to wake up? I'm going through it. I've had breakups where like for the next 3 or 6 months, man, it's hard to get out of bed. I have to adjust to life without this person who was my whole world. I'm like, all right, one day I'll find a new girl, but like, I'm going to struggle right now. I've been through breakups that have been really difficult, but losing a longtime friend for me is more painful than a breakup. Because with a breakup, I'm like, there's a good chance that this person might not be here because they could leave or I could leave. But with a longtime friend, you expect them to be there for forever, right? So when you have to leave them, it can be really difficult. But what you cannot do is be disrespected and feel unsafe. And over time, when you let the disrespect go on for so long, and if you don't feel safe in a certain space, it's going to chip away at you. It's going to knock your self-esteem down. And then your affect, the way you present yourself to the world would be very like this. And you're going to give other people license to disrespect you as well. And this is something that I see a lot in the neurodivergent community because we want to pacify people. We want to people please. We want to make everybody feel safe. And my thing, I believe in it. Like I'm hospitable. People come to my house, hey, get some water. I got some Doritos. I got all these snacks that I don't even eat because I don't eat that. But like I want people to be comfortable. I want people to be happy around me, but not at my own expense, right? Not at my own expense. We cannot sacrifice who we are to make other people feel good. It cuts really deep, but you got to take care of yourself. Yeah, I agree. I think breakups can be harder for neurodivergent people because, that's another really good point because that's what I was doing, and I don't think I've ever been broken up with in my life. No, like, it's always me. Like I'll break up and then I'm like, oh my gosh, that's self-sabotage. It's because I'm impulsive or whatever, and you have to try and forgive yourself. It could be quite difficult. Learn to say no and mean it will show you who your real friends are. Yeah, very revealing. I actually felt physically sick when I realized how many people were willing to push back. I'm like, oh, are we gonna get real tonight? Like, are we gonna take it there tonight? Oh boy, yeah. Saying no is the best way to figure out who is there for you. Yeah, And my thing is, love is not transactional. Love is not, oh, you do for me. No, love is, hey, I love you. I'll do for you regardless. If I'm not able to, I'll let you know. But as long as I'm able to, and like it's not cutting into like who I am, and like if I have the energy, I'll do for you. But it's not, oh, you did for me, so I'm gonna do for you. In the relationships, I see this all the time. Like couples who are talking to me. Oh, in 2019, she did this, blah blah, and then she's like, oh well, you can't keep score. You gotta forgive and maybe not forgive, but forgive and do your best to move forward. You can't keep score. Transactional relationships are not anything that can be sustained over a long period of time and make you feel good about yourself. Like Brett said, yeah. Brett, what's going on? Nice to see you again. You gotta protect your sanity. I had a colleague who was supposed to be the Friday night school monitor, but when it got to be Friday night, he never wanted to do it. When he asked me to cover him, I would not want to do it, but I would tell him that if he couldn't find anybody else, I would. I thought that if I didn't have a legitimate excuse, I couldn't say no. Well, right then and there, he had me. One day I heard him in a friend's classroom asking her to cover, and her answer was, that's what I was out there. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. You know, when you see how other people can easily say no, it gives you the confidence to do that. Oh, Kelly, that's what's up. And Oklahoma too. Oh, that's cool. Oklahoma, that's what's up. And yeah, Kelly. Kelly, I think you're more right than me. It's probably not a good idea to be Googling yourself, or at least like not be too fixated on it. Yeah, I gotta take your side on that. And let me see new comments right here. Let me see. If I hadn't Googled, I would never have figured out the ADHD and why nothing fit from previous treatments for other things and need assessments for other disabilities. Just would have stayed trapped in the cycles. Right. Oh, Lee, we're just talking about Googling like ourselves and like, you know. That's true for sure. That is for sure true. Sometimes I feel like that feeling is helping flex my gut intuition, learn to trust myself and my no more. Yeah, we have to learn how to trust ourselves. And look, there's nothing wrong with making the wrong decision. Like we're gonna make wrong. Like it's life. If you're choosing between two things, if you pick A, you'll never know what happened if you would pick B. We pick A, we stick to it, we pray that it's the right decision, and we just do the best that we can. You don't judge yourself for not picking B. Like we're just doing the best that we can, right? All right, and 9 minutes. This might be one of the longer lives I've done, but I'm having fun. Let me see if I gotta get back to. Okay, I got a lot of messages to get back to. All right, but we can still go on for like 5 minutes. What advice can you give to male in his 30s with both Asperger's, CPTSD, and healing from sadistically abusive cluster B parents? Ooh, what a good question. All right, so Nocturne. Look, first of all, don't be hard on yourself. All right, you're in your 30s, right? But the way you grew up, you're saying that your parents are abusive, cluster B, right? This is how you grew up, right? Childhood trauma, you can't erase years of childhood trauma in one therapy session. You can't erase years of childhood trauma even in one good year of therapy, right? It may take a while. So the best thing to do is to realize that, all right, we have to change how we do things. You have to change your system. You may have to change your environment if you're close to your parents, right? And you don't have to cut your parents off because you only get like one mom and dad, right? If you choose to cut them off, I respect that. But you don't have to cut your parents off, but maybe you can spend less time with them. You know, spend less time with them and understand, make peace with the fact that your parents will never change. They might change, but you don't want to be waiting for it. Just accept the fact that your parents may never change. And if they don't ever change, you still have to live your life. You got a lot of life ahead of you. You have to live your life and you have to be proud of the person that you are, okay? And you have to learn how to trust the decisions that you make. You say you're on the spectrum, CPTSD right there. It's going to be difficult for you to potentially trust how you feel about anything, right? So you have to change your environment. You have to create a safe space for yourself. And every neurodivergent person should do this. We have to create a world for ourselves where we can feel joy, a world for ourselves where we can feel sadness without being judged, a world for ourselves where we can be proud of the people that we are. And it's going to be difficult when you can't heal in the same environment that made you sick. All right. So you have to be really kind to yourself. If you can't, hear me on this, hear me out. If you can, forgive your parents. If you can't, it's okay. I made a post about this on Facebook a week ago, and it's very controversial. And people were like, I'm not going to forgive my parents, blah, blah. If possible, please forgive your parents. And it's not for them, it's for you. Because when you forgive your parents, you absolve yourself of all that guilt for feeling like you couldn't speak up for yourself, all that pain, all that frustration. You put that on them. Say, Mom, Dad, I've forgiven you. Now I'm going to do my own thing. So please forgive them, because the forgiveness is for yourself. The forgiveness is the closure that you probably were wanting for a long time. Now you've taken the power into your own hands. I'm going to give myself closure. and I'm going to move forward. All right. And once you do that, focus on what you can do to take care of yourself. You might have to be a little bit selfish, but understand that you being selfish is actually you being selfless, right? Because you're probably an empathetic person and you do for other people, and you have people like, in my opinion, I feel like autistic individuals have some of the purest hearts. And when you have a pure heart, guess what? You come across somebody who is manipulative, they'll play you because they know that you'll do anything for them, right? So forgive yourself, forgive your parents if possible, and start to prioritize yourself. You being selfish is actually you being selfless. Because once you're selfish, you can build yourself up. You start to love the person that you are. You become more confident. You start to walk in your purpose. And then you're standing upright. You can start to do things, and you're going to start doing for other people because you've poured into yourself. But you cannot pour from an empty cup. So I hope you were still online to hear that, because a lot of people are probably going through similar situations. And I just hope that this means anything to you. It means something to you. All right. Oh, let me read this first. Exactly, 100%. We do what we need, and then we think we were just impulsive and self-sabotaging. Right, Cal. And to be honest, like my last relationship, I broke up. I'll be honest. I broke up with her. This is back in Virginia 4 years ago. I broke up with her, and then like 2 days later, I called her back, and I'm like, I'm kidding. Like, let me take you on vacation. Like, I was like, no. I was just stressed. I just need some sleep. Like, I don't know if anybody else does that, but I was like, we can't be together. Like, not even 2 days later, I call her back, like, hey, just making sure that you haven't found another boyfriend. Like, please, like, come back to me. And then we got back together for a little bit. Latasha, you really helped me figure out my symptoms. I was wondering why I couldn't focus, why I would get upset or frustrated with people touching me all day. I hate that. I learned not only do I have ADHD, but being introverted as well has definitely not helped. Could be the masking. These last weeks have been extremely rough for me mentally, and I've been just trying to find myself after being a mom and a wife for over a decade. So, Latasha, let me speak on that. First of all, you got to give yourself some grace. You've been a mom and a wife for a decade. Being a mom is like one job. Being a wife is another job too. It can be very draining. So you have to give yourself some credit. You've done well for yourself. Forgive yourself for anything that you feel like you should be able to do. You've done well for yourself. And now we have to prepare you for the rest of your life. And I see this a lot with mothers. Once you become a mom, like sometimes being a mom like this takes over your whole personality. You know, and like even when like my mom would tell us, me and my siblings, that she used to ride motorcycles before she had us. I'm like, Mom, like you had a life before, like I can't picture my mom outside being a mom. Like it doesn't make sense to me. I just know my mom is my mom, so like to think of her like doing what she wants to do is so foreign. Cause like I selfishly, I'm like, Mom, like if I call my mom right now, like Mom, like like I need you, like what's my insurance? Like we're so dependent on our mothers, but I do think it's important for you to start this journey of finding yourself and not judging yourself, because yeah, you're a mom, you're your wife, but like you're more than just somebody's wife. You're more than somebody's mom. Like you're Latasha, like growing up, like you're your own person, So it might take a while, but just starting that journey of learning who you are. And as you learn who you are, be okay with certain things. Don't judge yourself when you find out things about yourself. And don't feel like you're behind other people too, because there's a lot of us here in the chat. We're all just we feel like we're trying to catch up, but we're just doing the best that we can, So if you can, be kind to yourself. Leilani, let me just take it further. That you're right. No, because I have a lot of thoughts about that. I have a lot of thoughts, and I'm learning too. I used to think that because I'm so busy and I'm all over the place, I used to think that, okay, when I grow up, and I'm not grown up yet, but when I grow up, I'm going to get a wife and I'm just going to pay the bills and I'm going to let her stay at home. And then I've been learning about the experiences of stay-at-home moms. I'm like, oh my goodness, like stay home. It's not as easy as people make it be. Like a stay-at-home mom that's like 3 jobs in one, So I'm learning, and I definitely want to make this series for sure. Latasha, anytime. I appreciate you. I'm happy I caught your comment. Late to the party, but happy to stumble on the live. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Oh, Alarms. I appreciate you. And yeah, sometimes the algorithm will hit a home run. You know, sometimes the algorithm will hit a home run. And yeah, I agree. Friendship breakups are really hard. Is hard. I mean, any breakup is hard, but friendship breakups can be hard. I'm having some success with learning about DBT and emotional regulation. I've been listening to ebooks and hoping to get into someone for DBT. Hard to get into Canada. I'm not sure how things are in Canada, but hopefully you get into it because I'm a big believer in DBT. DBT is, I think anybody can benefit from DBT, honestly. And if there's a way that I could like even do DBT practices on my own, I would do it because like we talk about DBT for borderline personality disorder, but if you're neurodivergent, I believe you would benefit from DBT because we struggle to regulate our emotions. And what's DBT? It helps you manage your emotions. You know, so DBT, it'd be helpful for us. It'd be helpful for us for sure. And all right, okay, I put the third tip in there. All right, y'all. I do have to go. Dang, this is fun. This is fun. I got and for me, as I adjust my schedule and figure out what I can drop off and what I'm adding on, I can't wait until like I can do more live streams. But we'll do every Monday from now on. And yeah. Oh, Leilani, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm looking at my email. I gotta get some stuff into my assistant. So Mickey Ficky. Rome, I had a lot to say. I didn't think I was gonna go on for this long, but I had a lot to say. Let me click Latasha's comment real quick. I'm a stay-at-home mom for 3 kids, and my husband has been working from home since 2020, so my job has been in overdrive. In September, I had a major surgery, and I really have noticed a lack of support and the anger issues. All right, and real quick, before I get off, let me just say this, Latasha. So, first of all, right now, the only thing that you should be saying to yourself is congratulations. Congratulations to yourself. If you've kept things together, like, and people, I didn't look to all the parents here. I have to apologize because I did not know there's a big difference between 2 kids and 3 kids. And if you have 3 kids, you know what I'm talking about. There's a big difference between 2 kids and 3 kids. It's a lot. I didn't know it was that big. And Liz, we will the live streams every Monday at 6 o'clock California time, 9 o'clock on the East Coast. So I saw your question right there. But yeah, no, 3 kids is a lot. 3 kids is a lot. And then you had a major surgery and you know it's a lack of support. And for people like us who are neurodivergent, who are empathetic, people who go out of our way to help other people, sometimes we don't realize how uneven things are until we need support. And then we realize that, oh, wow. So the same help that I provide to other people, I can't get that back in return. And I'm not saying that the kids are too much or your husband's not doing what he needs to do, but sometimes the best help that you can give yourself, especially when you're neurodivergent, is to put yourself first. But society is going to shame you for putting yourself first when you're a mom. They're going to say, what type of a mom? You're supposed to be a mom. That's BS. Don't listen to that. Anybody who tells you that, tell them to go kick rocks. Putting yourself first is going to allow you to be the best wife. It's going to allow you to be the best mom. So you might have a period of time where you might need to just put yourself first. And I think for us as guys, we don't realize, for myself, I don't realize how much women have on their plates. You know, we play this game with the Pan Olympics where I'm like, man, like it's harder for guys. And the women are like, it's harder for women. And I'm like, women don't have to deal with it. It's difficult for all of us. It's difficult for all of us, you know. So I'm learning myself too. I'm learning myself, you know. But sometimes the best help that you can provide is to look after yourself, Latasha. But you're on that journey, so you should be proud of yourself. Yeah, I am a real doctor, and my mom says I'm handsome, so I think I can believe that. And with 7, no, 6 is better. 6 is better. But LA traffic is like literally if I just leave the house at any time, this is gonna be traffic, so I have to just be accustomed to that. Latasha, anytime. All right, so we will be back on here. Let me make sure I'm not gonna be out of town. Oh yeah, all right, perfect. So we'll be back on here on the 30th of October. So a week from now, Monday at 6 p.m. California time, 9 o'clock East Coast time. This has been super. This has been fun. It's been super fun. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Take care of yourselves. Don't let anybody play you. Understand that you're a good person, and your best is always going to be good enough. If somebody's messed with you, tell them to. Are you going to wear a costume? Oh, actually, and Liz, I'm also excited too. I'm super excited for next week's live, and I'm going to wear a costume. And I got something. I'm not gonna spoil it, but next week's live. I'm gonna do the live in the full costume. So just make sure you show up for that. It's gonna be fun. But like I said, take care of yourselves. I love y'all. If somebody is trying to manipulate you or they don't value you, tell them to go kick rocks respectfully. GC. Once a week, Mondays at 6 o'clock California time, 9 o'clock on the East Coast. Yeah, have a good night. So, I keep saying the ending over and over, but I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, and please take care of yourself. All right. So until next time, peace.